If we ever get to Mars, it's going to take a lot of energy and a lot of resources. So the idea that we'll just get there, have a walk around and come back again just isn't going to work. So if we do get there, we're going to have to take some equipment with us. What we'd like you to design is a Mars buggy that would enable the astronauts to safely move around and explore the Martian surface. If we look at a conventional car, it's going to run into all sorts of problems. To start with, the distance between the axles that the wheels rotate around and the base of the car is quite small. That means the wheels are mounted high up into the car body. This means that it's more likely to get stuck and won't be able to drive over rocks and things like that. A combustion engine needs air to run on. So we're going to have an electric engine if we're going to work in an atmosphere without air. The vehicle is going to need to be airtight. As the air's thinner, though, we don't have the same problem of aerodynamics that we have on Earth. There aren't too many existing products we can look into before we start our own designs, but one of them is the original moon buggy used on the Saturn V missions. One of the good things about this is it was a super lightweight design. It had communication equipment, but some of the problems were it had a limited range. There was no way to recharge the batteries. You had to stay in your spacesuit, so you relied on this for heating and cooling. There was also no space for storage of equipment or supplies if you were going to go on a longer trip or be able to move equipment around. So your first task is to come up with your own design specification for this project. You should think about how many people it needs to carry. Remember, this is more than just exploration. We'll be carrying out tasks. How's it going to be powered, and how's that power going to be sustained? What's going to be more important for your design? Is it going to be speed or stability? What sort of terrain is it going to have to deal with? Think about steepness of slopes, the actual soil or sand conditions, the type of rocks it might have to climb over. How's it going to get itself out of trouble if it does get stuck? What supplies will it need to carry? So things like air, food, equipment to carry out different tasks. Once you've written your design specification, now it's time to start coming up with your own design ideas. I quite often find it's easier to design the ideas around the person sitting inside it, so you might want to start with that person. My first design idea, I looked at using caterpillar tracks. Now, these are great for getting over all sorts of terrains, but they're heavy. And if they break, you really can't do a lot about it. I also like the idea of having this sort of polycarbonate dome on the front. Polycarbonate's a kind of plastic that we can use. We'll learn a lot more about the materials we're going to have to use in this later on. My second idea, I looked at the Mars rover that's already been sent to Mars, and that was a 6-wheel vehicle. Now, that had a problem where one of the wheels stopped working. So on this design, I'm thinking of having an electric motor in each wheel, so if one breaks down, the others can keep it going. I've also added some vents to keep the thing cool, and a motor that can sort of move a solar panel around, so it can always be getting the benefit of the energy from the sun. My final idea, I went out of the box a bit, and I thought of using just an insect-based sort of leg thing. Now, I didn't like this because this is really hard sort of energy usage to move legs. It doesn't build up momentum like wheels do. And also, I kind of saw it getting just sort of sinking into the sand. But I think it's really good to just think outside the box and come up with different ideas. Remember, your design idea should be presented as a series of sketches with good and bad points noted about each one. For the third piece of work we want from you, we'd like to see your final design. So this should be your highest quality drawing. Make sure you list all the good points and bad points about your final design. We look forward to seeing your design ideas.